Welcome to Agents of Screen. I am your boy Miles, aka the Bull Beyonce, and we are here for the season premiere of the new Marvel show Loki. As you well know, I've produced content for the season premiere and season finales for all of the Marvel shows. So of course I have to do Loki. But I have a lot of questions. I'm feeling like 50 Cent right now. I have a lot of questions. The last time we saw Loki was in Avengers Endgame, when the Avengers went back in time to 2012 to try and retrieve the Infinity Stones in order to fight Thanos. When they did that, when they tried to get the Tesseract back, that rhymed, didn't mean to. When they tried to get the Space Stone back, they failed. And Loki used it to teleport the hell out of there. They then went back in 1970 to get the Tesseract from Howard Stark, and then they were able to do what they needed to do. However, theoretically, when Cap went back in time at the end of Avengers Endgame to put the stones back in their place, theoretically, because he put it back in 1970, the events of 2012 could have still happened. So even though he died in Infinity War, in Endgame, they went back in time, he used the stone. Were there two Lokis at a point in time? Did him taking the Space Stone create a branch universe like the Ancient One suggested? And if so, is this the dawn of the multiverse? So there's a lot of questions, hopefully they're answered. And according to Marvel themselves, Loki is going to have the biggest ramifications on the MCU of any show that they've produced so far. But let's get into this video though. Usually I do these videos in like a robe, but it's really hot right now, so if I was to do that, I'd probably die from heat exhaustion. But speaking of heat, I'm hoping for heat from this show, so let's get into it. I want to hear that dun 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 dun.
On my way down to coordinate search and rescue. On my way down to coordinate search and rescue.
On our way down to coordinate search and rescue. Couldn't he teleport on the ground? Now they teleport him in the air.
It's been a very long day, and I think I've had my fill of idiots in armored suits telling me what to do, so if you don't mind, this is actually your last chance. Now get out of my way.
Bro!
You're now moving at 1/16th speed, but feeling all that pain in real time.
Wow. I thought they were doing actual slow motion. I thought they were doing some Zack Snyder stuff. That is actually sick.
Reset the timeline.
This is some Men in Black shit. This is giving me some Willy Wonka vibes, and I'm not saying that because of the dwarf.
The machine would melt you from the inside out. Please move along, sir.
All these little weird compartments, all these different type of characters. He would actually make a really good Willy Wonka. So if the multiverse doesn't exist as of yet, what was Doctor Strange looking in when he was doing the... What was all that? Actually, he wasn't looking into the multiverse, he was looking into the possibilities. And that was the only way that they beat him. My mistake. I know the WandaVision fans are gonna say, Mephisto, sorry.
And who are you?
Maybe they should do a reset and fix his nose.
Show you on my desk. Not big on trust, are you? Trust is for children. Dogs. There's only one person you can trust.
Yourself? I like it. Slap it on a t-shirt.
I like that. Trust is for
EVA truly
children and
oversees all
dogs.
the time. The timekeepers have built quite the circus. And I see the clowns are playing their parts to perfection.
Big metaphor guy. I love it.
He's got bars for days.
Smart. Hey, Loki, I think we can finish up tomorrow and just pick it up.
Just use the thingy. Oh, he stole it. He's a mischievous scamp after all.
Jeez.
What? Infinity stones? How do you have these?
Oh, we actually got a lot of those. Yeah, some of the guys use them as paperweights. Some of them.
They have no power here, right?
You're not forgiven.
That guy is funny. That guy is hilarious. His delivery and all of that. That's the end of the tape, bro. That's the end of the tape. That's the sum of your life. All that struggle amounted to that. You weren't going to be God or King of anything. Like Jose Mourinho said, you're a specialist in failure. This is like Truman Show on crack.
Why me?
The variant we're hunting is you.
I beg your pardon.
Well, that's a twist and a half, isn't it? But that little boy said he was the devil. I need to see his face. What does he look like? I know that the press got access to the first two episodes of Loki, and they said that the first episode was very clunky and not up to much, and then the second episode is when it really hits the stride. But I will say, first impressions, I have to disagree with that. Yes, it was very exposition heavy, which is necessary, which is understandable, because this is an entirely new world. They're talking about time. They have to explain why what happened, what's going to happen next, what they need him for, who they're fighting against, establish the rules of the world. So I understand why, but it was, all of that was interesting to me. We've had so much of the MCU so far, so to get something fresh and brand new and to open up new worlds, I'm for it. And I was interested to understand everything that they were saying, even though it was exposition heavy. That being said, let me say this before I forget. Again, Tom Hiddleston, he will make an excellent Willy Wonka. That being said, I really enjoyed the episode. There were a lot of like wow moments, like I have to wrap my head around it, so there's things that I probably have forgotten. Even the whole Infinity Stone thing is like, his whole world has been shattered. It's like, hold on one doggone minute here. You mean it to tell me the thing that I have devoted my entire life to, I've devoted my life to, millions of people have literally died over these things, and it's not only powerless, but it's meaningless. You man aren't even taking it seriously. Is this in a drawer? Like some paperclip? Like some matches, some box of matches? Like, what's going on here? You man are using it as paperweights on the office desks. You probably take it home, give it to your son, like, look son, look what I have. Like, you can take it to school for show and tell. Like, look, this is what the Avengers were giving their life to. It's in a drawer. It's not even kept in some secure location. It's in a drawer. What I thought was power is not even anything near that. So he's kind of forced to humble himself. Loki coming to terms with all his actions and delusions of grandeur. That's a perfect term to describe Loki and what his path eventually led him to, which was death. The fact that twist that the person, the variant that they're fighting against is in fact Loki, allegedly. Aside from that, what I also found really interesting about this episode is they kind of touched on and gave you some really poignant seeds of thought for you to leave with in terms of time, destiny, free will, your path in life. That's something that I'm gonna be thinking about. Obviously, you know, within the rules of the show, it makes sense, but you know, for him, it's saying that, you know, not all of us are destined for greatness. You might feel that, but at the same time, his path in life is not to be king, it's for him to fail in order for other people to realize their greatness. So that's a very interesting thought in terms of like free will, what our path is, destiny. That's why I kind of touched on the whole Truman Show analogy, because he's just living his life unbeknownst to him in the faraway realms. His life is just going along the path according to what they believe is the correct flow of time. So you may have a small aspect of free will, but you can't deviate from what's preordained for you. So it's a really interesting thought. I wonder if how far they're gonna delve into that, but that's really interesting. I really enjoy when shows leave you with little seeds of thought that you can take away once the show ends. I am liking what I'm seeing. What did you guys think of the first episode? The potential for this, being that they're dealing with time and, you know, going into different timelines, both future, past and present, is insane. I'm not only talking about the MCU, of course, but I'm also talking about real life. They're able to interpole real life events into this, like Forrest Gump, or even like in this episode when Owen Wilson was like, oh, you were DB Cooper, in that scene where they show that flashback of when he hijacked that plane. So DB Cooper, basically in the 70s, I believe it was in the 70s, is a guy, that's not even his real name, that's just what they call him, a guy who hijacked a aircraft, a Boeing 7, whatever it was, and he just disappeared. Hijacked a plane, stole 200 grand, just like in the episode, and then he disappeared. Till this day, they never found him. Never found him, don't know what he looks like. So it's interesting that they utilize that, an unsolved mystery, and say like Loki was responsible for that. So as I said, the potential is huge. I know next week's episode is going to be another 50-minute one, so I can't wait. Wednesday is the new Friday, so let me know what you thought of the first episode. Of course, I have been your boy Miles. We have been the Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N, and until the next video, which will be coming extremely soon, peace.